So one question that I often get is, how do you have time to do the reciprocity project? How do you actually get some of this stuff done? And what I want you to imagine is a new way of doing entrepreneurship, a new way to do innovation. And this is where you pursue the things that you love, and then you take other people on that particular journey. And as you're doing that, you realize that you have a lot of things in your life that are not necessarily what you'd consider productive, or, all these kind of down moments. But you just take people on the journey of when you're actually doing it on the particular way that you're actually pursuing this thing, and not worry about how other people are going to perceive this particular thing. This has been a really hard lesson for me to learn, is that doing entrepreneurship in the way that I've been doing it, and doing innovation the way that I've been doing it, is a lot about giving yourself some grace to kind of make mistakes and have problems and all of these kind of things, and having that open to the whole wide world. And so what I want you to view what I'm doing is not necessarily as like I'm doing something that's really scary and it's revolutionary or anything like that. How you sort of view entrepreneurship, the traditional way of doing entrepreneurship, where you stop what you're doing and pursue something completely different. But I want you to imagine something where I just take people along in my life, and I just walk you through every once in a while of what's going on in my life, and telling you all of these kind of things and my thoughts. And anybody can do these things. I was thinking about how interesting it would be. I would love if my mom, for example, or my sisters, or my brother, or whatever, or any number of people in my family was to do something like this, and to create something that they are talking about their life, and they're just open about it. Because wouldn't that be a gift for somebody else to actually see this and to see the world? That's been one of the weirdest things. And I'm assuming my family members will watch this. It's been one of the weirdest things, is having them interpret what I am going through and the things that I'm going through. And they'll tell me that they watch these things every once in a while. And it's been really weird. It's been interesting to sort of see, and I think that they get to know me a little bit better as who I am, and they can see my world. And I think that's an interesting gift. That's a wonderful gift that I think a lot of people don't understand. And I can be the person that, they can just kind of listen to or be part of. But I would love for everybody to tell these stories. I think about somebody in my family that does early childhood education. I think it would be wonderful if she told somebody, or she or he told somebody, how to actually go through all these moments of where you have these awkward things that little kids say, or how do you accomplish these things, and just being open with it. And yes, the current people that you work with might be a little uncomfortable or whatnot, but you don't have to disclose and talk about specifics. You could talk about you could talk about the general stuff, and then you get to see somebody's world. I have there's people in my life that work in government, and it would be really interesting to hear how people navigate the issues of government and things like that come up. I think that there's all these kind of things that we can pursue and just kind of do for the love of it. And if you view what you're doing, and you don't even have to do things about the specifics of what you're working for and all those kind of things. You could do something like, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if, you just loved watching Seinfeld, or you loved watching The Simpsons, or, you were a big fanatic of the Muppets from a long time ago, and you just talked about it as you were watching, and you're going through that. And you're telling people about what is actually going on in your mind as you're watching these things, the sort of memories that come up. The Muppets were a big thing for me growing up, or Fraggle Rock was a big thing growing up. We would love that. And you can have all of these emotions come up and talk about those things. But your life is inherently interesting. It's really cool and exciting. We live in a moment where we can take people along on these journeys that we couldn't do before, that was locked up and hidden, and we'll never get those things again. I think about all of the old people, the people that are much older than me, much older than me, that their experiences and lives are just going to disappear. And you think when you do that, you're going to be, when you first turn on the video and you point it at your face and you start talking about these things, you're going to feel stupid. First of all, nobody's going to watch what you're doing. Nobody cares. They really, truly don't care. But there are 7 billion people in this world, 8 billion people now in this world. And those 8 billion people, there's a couple people that will find what you're doing that's interesting. If Grandpa wants to actually talk about the stories from a long time ago, there's people that want to hear those stories and listen to what's going on. And it might seem slow and boring. Well, people love slow and boring. You don't know what they're going to like. There's a whole field, there's this whole video genre called ASMR that is just people talking quietly and whispering and kind of just doing things softly. Nobody knew that that was going to be a thing, and it became a thing. You just have to be brave enough to actually stand up and tell your story and be okay with what your story is. And I know that's the hardest thing. You know how hard it is to go to a family gathering, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again. I'm doing all of these videos that are open, they're goofy, they're silly. I am thinking about this, and I'm worried about, how they're going to view me and all of these kind of things that are in my head. I have all these insecurities. I'm like, if I see somebody in the airport when I'm traveling, and they don't like what I said, it's going to be a weird feeling. It is, right? Like all of these things where sometimes I get a random smile from somebody, which I'm assuming that it might have seen some of the stuff that I talk about. And it's weird, but who else is going to do this? And this form of entrepreneurship is beautiful. It's pleasant. It's not this abrupt change where you have to go and start this business and go do all this kind of stuff. You just live your life and love who you are. And you talk about the stories of where you came from and all of these kind of things, just to bring people along on these journeys so they understand and give a picture of what you're about. And yes, I'm building the reciprocity platform, right? So you can get writing and improve your writing. But you don't have to do those things. That was just my kind of accidental way to learn how to talk to you and be part of your life, is to me to figure out how do I actually get the word out about this thing. And so my message to you is live your life, love who you are, and just keep doing that. And if you want to share it with the rest of the world, it would be awesome. And everybody would love to hear your story, because your story is unique and it's interesting, and everybody has a unique and interesting story. Even if you're a boring person, the fact that you're a boring person, there's other people that are out there that are boring and want to listen to all of your laments and all of those kind of things. People love it when you talk about your life and you talk about all those kind of things that are going on. And I encourage you to just live your life, love who you are, and keep sharing with other people. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.